Hello, I'm Sophie D'Souza. Look at my horrible soldering. Do not fear, in today's video I will show you how to make this revolting soldering less revolting and even maybe to make it halfway presentable. So stay tuned for some tips and tricks. So I hope you can see that there is way too much solder on these joints and they look rather like I've been trying to ice a cake. So I will show you a couple of different approaches to putting this right. So the first thing to say is there is just too much solder on these joints. So you can cut it off. Ta-da! That might not always work. Oh, that worked. But as you can see, it does. The other thing to do is take one of these items, which is called a file, and to have a little rub at the joint. Now what this is particularly good for is taking off peaks. So I think you know the thing I mean, and it's particularly noticeable. I'm just going to try and do a bit more ugly soldering so I can show you some better approaches or other approaches. So that will take off a peak, but it won't take off a huge body of solder. So what you can then do sometimes, depending on how much extra solder you've got on the joint, is just re-melt, and at least then it's flatter. It's still a big splodge, so it's not ideal, but it's not in a big peak and it's not in a huge lump that's going to sort of get in the way of things. I will just show you on here what we can do. And these files, oh dear, these files come with different coarsenesses. They're a bit like a nail file if you had horrible nails, perhaps on your toes. So this is quite a fine one actually, so it'll remove less material in one go. But you can really take it back if you've got a peak and you need to. But it's better really for just a very tiny little peak. You know, the sort that when you put the whiting on you just feel it's there. So I'm going to remelt this because I'm not really getting rid of as much material as I want to. Now it stays where you've got flux, so if I put more flux on, and I can melt it over a wider area. So if you've got really a huge amount of solder to get rid of, that would be a way of distributing it further. So you know, none of these joints would win prizes, but what they avoid is those big bulges that are going to get in the way of when you put it into a frame. And actually once you've blacked these, and if you put patina on these joints, they'll be quite acceptable, you know. So I hope those little approaches, tips and tricks will help you in your search for the perfect joint. So all was not lost after all. Look, vaguely acceptable joints. So don't worry, whatever mess you've made of your joints, it is retrievable, and persevere, your soldering will improve. Thank you for watching. if you've got anything else you'd like to know, or any questions or any videos, put a comment, and please like, comment and subscribe.